Welcome back. I'm Pratap here. Today is 13th October 2024. In this video, I'm going to generate different weekly reports based on NeoStock Software Supply Demand Zone Top-Down Analysis Strategy Builder. Before generation of these reports, all of you please understand, we are providing complete free training on Supply Demand Zone Price Action. All the training lessons are available at our NeoStock YouTube channel. So at our channel homepage, you click on the tab Posts. Some of you might be seeing the tab Community. You just click on the tab, you get access to this post. This post is having a YouTube playlist link that will take you to all the training lessons. Just click on the link. Now we are into the playlist Supply Demand Zone Price Action course. Here you have all the training lessons are available. You just need to scroll down to the bottom of the page to get access to the first video. So starting from lesson 1.1, all the training lessons are placed in an order. You just need to go through all these lessons one by one to strengthen your skills related to supply demand zone price action. I have also provided the link to our Telegram channel in this video description. So please find our Telegram link in the video description and join at our Telegram channel. It will be helpful to you. Each time when we release a new YouTube video or any other important or very important updates, we will be providing at our Telegram channel. Okay, now let's get into the report generation. For weekly time frame, let us find the stocks near weekly demand zone. So these three stocks are filtered. Now prices are near to these weekly demand zones. I will be giving you only few seconds time to watch the report, so that you need to pause the video. Once you study these stocks, you can further proceed. In case if you does not understand how to study this report, I request you complete the training lesson 21.1, that is part 1 of lesson 21. There I have explained each and every column in detail, their values, their abbreviations, even how you can draw the zones in TradingView by taking the timestamp of this leg in and leg out column and also base candle count. Okay, now let's move on to the next report. For weekly time frame, let us find the stocks near to the weekly supply zone. 8 stocks are filtered. Okay, next, for weekly time frame, let us find the stocks where price closed inside the weekly demand zone. Currently prices are closed inside these demand zones, weekly demand zones. We got a very big list. Okay, for the reference purpose, I am scrolling the list down. After that, from this list, let us further filter to find high probability stocks. Okay, I am scrolling the list down because the list is big. $58 stocks. Currently prices are in the weekly demand zones. Because these are the weekly demand zones, so to find the high probability setups, let's verify how many of these weekly demand zones are currently having uptrend. So I'm going back. In the trend zone violation trend, weekly time frame, I am selecting the trend as uptrend. See, now the list is come down. I am scrolling the list down. Now 31 stocks are filtered. Still it is a big number, right? Okay, to further improve the probability, because the trend is uptrend, weekly trend is uptrend, And because of that, if any of these weekly zones are having weekly EMA confluence, they are even more high probability setup. So I'm going back. So in the EMA confluence at weekly time frame, I'm adding the filter weekly demand zones having weekly EMA confluence. Now let's verify. Okay, still the list is big. 26 stocks are filtered. All these 26 stocks are having high probability setups. Because the list is big, I can also add one more filter, trend, based on the, we selected earlier the trend as we selected based on zone violation. If even the pivot high low means swing high low. You already land higher high, higher low, lower low, equal high, equal low in our phase 1 training lessons. I think in lesson 8, if I am not wrong, lesson 7 or lesson 8. One of these lessons you land. Okay, that trend also we will verify. Both the trends are uptrend, it is even more high probability. See, 10 stocks. See, both zone violation is up and also swing high low is also uptrend. And also these zones are having a weekly EMA confluence. And moreover, prices are closed inside these demand zones. You may ask a question, what is the advantage for doing such kind of fine tuning and filter these stocks? The advantage is now prices are in the demand zone, there are higher chances these stocks might be started moving up. If you can find a fine-tuned daily zone or a fine-tuned 75-minute zone, that way you can plan your trades. Either you can use this weekly zone as a HTF zone or ITF zone. If you keep this weekly zone as a HTF zone, it may support WIT trade. If you take this weekly zone as a ITF zone, it may support MIT trade. Because even monthly trends also here you are seeing in the ITF. LTF is weekly, because the time frame you select always it will be treated as a LTF, weekly trend. This is a monthly trend and this is quarterly trend. This is the way these stocks will be helpful to you. Okay, the next report for weekly time frame. Let us find the stocks where price closed inside weekly supply zone. So this is also a big list. I'm scrolling the list down. 18 stocks are filtered. So to check high probability setup, let us find the stocks having the downtrend. Weekly trend as a downtrend. So in the zone violation trend, weekly time frame, I'm defining the trend as a down. Let's filter. Now only 3 stocks are filtered. If any of these 3 stocks, because weekly trend is downtrend, they are having EMA confluence, it's a high probability. But remember, prices are closed inside the supply zone. If these supply zones are having a weekly EMA confluence, there are higher chances that prices might be going down and trend is also downtrend. So in the EMA confluence, I'm adding one more filter, weekly time frame, weekly supply zone having weekly EMA confluence. This is the one, weekly supply zone having weekly EMA confluence. 2 stocks are filtered, from 3 2 stocks. These two stocks, supply zones are having EMA confluence. Bandhan Bank is completely bearish because HTF, ITF, LTF, all the 3 are downtrend. Okay, this is about Stocks closed inside the zone. The next report for weekly time frame, let us find the stocks where, the tested zones. Let us find the demand zones. Let us find the stocks having demand zones tested during this week. Because many weekly demand zones are tested. That means prices are entered during this week. Because overall market was down this week. So many of the stocks tested. Some of these stocks tested the zone and started moving up, and some of these stocks prices are closed inside the zones. Okay, I'm scrolling the list down. So to 34 stocks. All these 34 stocks having the demand zones are tested. Okay, next for weekly time frame, let us find the stocks having supply zones are tested, weekly supply zones. Only these 5 stocks, the weekly supply zones are tested. Okay. Next, let us look for newly created zones for weekly time frame. Let us find the newly created weekly demand zones during this week. In these 10 stocks, new weekly demand zones are created. Okay. Next, for weekly time frame, let us find the stocks having newly created weekly supply zones. These 8 stocks are filtered. In these 8 stocks, the supply zones are created during this week. Always remember this timestamp, lagout timestamp, indicates week open, not week close. 7/10/24 means this week, Monday's timestamp. Always remember, any candle's timestamp is that timestamp open time. That's why some people might get confusion. Any software, always they show the open time is that particular week time or month time or quarterly time or daily time. That way you need to understand. Okay, next, let us see different combinations for finding the high probability setup for weekly time frame. Earlier we have seen high probability setups for prices closed inside the zones. But sometimes prices are outside the zones, still high probability setups will be there. You may get trade opportunities. So that is the reason why first we are looking for the stocks having a uptrend. Weekly trend is uptrend. All such kind of stocks let us find. If the list is big, we will filter with different combinations. First I am using zone violation, weekly time frame, stocks that are supporting uptrend. We got a very big list. Just for reference purpose, I am scrolling because your favorite stock might be there. After that, we will further filter. Out of 194, I think total list is 194 or 195. 143 stocks, trend is uptrend, weekly trend is uptrend. But zone violation, if this is based on zone violation, swing high low is also uptrend, it is much stronger, the trend, both together. So I am adding one more trend based on pivot high low also. Both zone violation, pivot high low, weekly trend should be uptrend. Now let's see how many stocks. Now list is somewhat reduced. Earlier 143, now let us check how many. . So now the list is come down to 74. Definitely 74 stocks. Both the trends are uptrend. We can say it is a damn sure they are perfect. Okay, now further how we can further reduce. In the uptrend, if they are having weekly EMA confluence, it is even more high probability setup. Earlier also we have seen these combinations, but only difference is earlier only stocks closed inside the zone. Now outside the in between demand and supply zones also, the stocks will be filtered now. Or prices near to the zone or moving towards the demand zone, such kind of stocks you can filter now. Okay, now EMA confluence, weekly time frame, because weekly trend is uptrend. If weekly demand zone are having weekly EMA confluence, it is even much powerful stocks. Let's see. Now list is reduced. Earlier 34, right? Or 64 earlier. Now it's come down to 37. I think earlier 64 stocks without EMA confluence. Now with EMA confluence, the list is reduced to 37 stocks. And all these 37 stocks are having a trend uptrend and also supporting a EMA confluence, weekly EMA confluence. You may ask a question, can we further reduce? Yes, we can further reduce by using even ITF confluence if the weekly zones are part of the monthly zones. Let us check. So in the demand zone confluence, weekly demand zone with monthly demand zone confluence. I'm enabling the filter. Let's verify. See, now the list is reduced to 12. Now see the search strategy. See, this is the main advantage of our strategy builder. We can define hundreds of strategies using the strategy builder. This is the strategy. What is that I applied? The trend should be, weekly trend should be uptrend, zone violation, even swing high-low trend is also uptrend. After that, demand zone confluence, monthly and weekly, EMA confluence, weekly demand zone with weekly EMA confluence. And these zones are part of the monthly zone. This is how we filtered high probability setups. Now in these stocks, any of these stocks, some of these stocks are inside the demand zone, some might be near the demand zone, some are towards the demand zone. If they come back, the prices to these zones, probably you can plan your trades. That way this list will be helpful to you. Of course, stocks inside weekly demand zones are having immediate trade opportunities compared to this, because prices has to travel to the demand zone to get our trades. That's why it will take some time. But some are inside the demand zones are there. This Pedialyte Industries, this is also earlier it might have filtered, because we already verified stocks closed inside the demand zone. Okay, anyway, these are the high probability setups, these stocks. Exactly the same way, let us look for supply zones also for weekly time frame. Let us look for the stocks having a downtrend. So zone violation trend I am selecting, weekly time frame, downtrend. How many stocks are currently having downtrend? Because earlier 143 stocks are having uptrend. Remaining stocks either sideways or downtrend. But only downtrend stocks, only 10 stocks are filtered. This is based on the zone violation. Further, if you want to see more probability, look for EMA confluence. Weekly time frame, weekly EMA confluence. The supply zones are having weekly EMA confluence, because we are focusing on the supply zones. So these 4 stocks. So you can focus on these 4 stocks. Out of these 4 stocks, 2 stocks are already prices are closed inside the supply zone. Earlier also I think they were filtered. Okay. Next, we will look for the next combination based on LTF, ITF, HTF confluence. All three. Weekly zones are part of the monthly zone. Weekly and monthly together again part of the quarterly zone. Such kind of stocks. LTF, ITF, HTF. So entry time frame I am selecting weekly. So the demand zones, confluence. Weekly demand zone with monthly demand zone confluence I enabled. Weekly demand zone with quarterly demand zone confluence I enabled. And also monthly demand zone with quarterly demand zone. What exactly the meaning? Weekly zone is part of the monthly zone. Weekly and monthly together again part of the quarterly zone. Such kind of combination is a powerful combination. Let's verify how many stocks will filter. 19 stocks are there, such kind of stocks. So in this further, if you want to reduce, look for trend, uptrend, because these are the demand zones. Trend weekly, because the entry time frame is weekly. So look for uptrend. Weekly trend should be uptrend. How many stocks? Now it's come down to 10. Out of these 10, any of these zones are weekly zones are having weekly EMA confluence. That way you can filter. A weekly time frame, weekly demand zone is having weekly EMA, but weekly zones are part of monthly and quarterly. So these two stocks are filtered. Or you can also remove this filter. Another filter also you can add, because weekly, any quarterly trend is available. Quarterly demand zone is having a quarterly EMA confluence, because weekly and monthly together part of the quarterly. So these 5 stocks are filtered. So that way they are the high probability, because quarterly EMA confluence. If prices are entering into the zone, it's a high probability setups. See, like that you can filter different combinations to find the high probability setups. So next report, supply zone confluence in weekly time frame. Let us look for LTF, ITF, HTF confluence. That is in supply zones. That means the weekly supply zone should be having monthly supply zone confluence. Weekly supply zone is having quarterly supply zone confluence, and monthly supply zone is having quarterly. What exactly the meaning? Weekly supply zone is part of the monthly supply zone. Both weekly and monthly together again part of the quarterly supply zone. Any such kind of combinations? We got 5 stocks. We have supply zone confluence. But only sideways setup is there, remaining are uptrend. Downtrend is not there. But confluence, zone confluence is there. Sometimes strong order flows might be there. This indicates, see, LTF, ITF, HTF indicates strong order flow, because they are part of the higher time frame zones. So in the last report, I will generate all the weekly zones for your reference purpose. I am not filtering any stocks. All 194 or 195, whatever the list, current list, all the stocks will be displayed. Any of your favorite stock, you can further filter. So I generated the complete list. Remember, first 17 in this list are indices. That includes all sectorial indices. Remaining all are equity stocks. But the equity stocks I have filtered based on the stocks listed in F&O. Stocks are not F&O stocks, equity stocks only. But the list, stocks list is filtered from F&O listed companies. Okay, I am scrolling the list down. Whichever the stock you want to refer, there you please pause the video. So all the 196 stocks are filtered. Hope this information will be useful to you for your further study and analysis. Let's all meet again in our next video. Thank you.